what's going on YouTube? Graham here. And in this video, I am going to share the complete marketing funnel that you should deploy for your professional services business, mapped out graphically with exact frameworks that you can follow. So recently I was on a call with a client and he asked a very earnest question of, hey, what exactly are we doing? What is our marketing funnel? And as I found myself explaining to him the different efforts that we're handling on his behalf, I found it was just very confusing. There's so much going on in a marketing campaign and so many different wheels that are turning and things that are interconnected that I myself started getting confused explaining this to him. So we mapped this out graphically, and I thought this would be super helpful to share with you. It's not something I've found anyone else really sharing online. So we're going to go through the exact funnel that you should deploy for your professional services firm. No need to look at my face. Let's just jump right into the screen share. All right, so here we go. You can see the entire funnel mapped out from top to bottom. And let's jump in and see what we're doing at each stage and how this is all interconnected. So the first thing that we're always trying to do is attract new people into our business. Once we've attracted them into our audience, it's our job to nurture these people, get them to like us enough to want to take that next step. When they take that next step, we have to have content and things that they can interact or participate in that allow us to get in front of them and delight them. You know, they have to not only know that we have great knowledge and can help them. For the most part, people like working with people that they like. You know, if they get on the call with you or attend your event, whatever it might be, and the personalities just don't vibe, they're not likely to invest in your services. Or if you're a financial advisor, they're not likely to give you their assets to manage. And then ultimately, at each stage here, we're attempting to push people into a conversion event. You know, just schedule a discovery call with me, meet with my team to learn more about our services. You know, each phase of the funnel that I just outlined is pointing to this event. But ultimately, we usually have to push someone through an entire funnel in order to get them to want to come and schedule with us. But any smart funnel has great calls to action at every step that encourage somebody to schedule a call with you, learn more, done in a way that makes sense. You know, we don't just put a video up on YouTube and our only call to action is a schedule a call with me, because we know that's never going to happen. So let's look at this entire funnel by phase and see what we're doing. So as we're trying to attract people to come into our business, the number one strategy that I recommend to my clients is you should only be handling a very few parts of this funnel, but the thing that you should be most responsible for is recording your long form pillar content, that then we can take that content and chop it up across the board in different ways in order to get in front of people at the right time, right place, when they're ready to make that decision. So I love to see my clients record a long form podcast, and then we take that podcast and we distribute it through two primary places. Well, I guess three, obviously through the podcast networks. But the place that we're going to get the most eyeballs on a brand new podcast is going to be YouTube. YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. And YouTube really has two different platforms that it supports. You've got your classic YouTube that everyone's familiar with, your YouTube long form content. So these would be videos as long as you want. And then you've got YouTube Shorts. These are shorts like you see on other platforms, but the way YouTube does divide up their content, these are two very different parts of the YouTube platform. And when we're smart with the way that we put our content up, we're able to take those shorts that we pull from that long form content that we recorded and use those shorts to not only get new eyeballs on those shorts, but point them back to that long form content. From there, you should really be optimizing your content to go out and live in as many places as possible, not creating some unique thing for each of these places, obviously adapting it to fit that platform, but you really don't need to reinvent the wheel. So the second most important place that you can take your content and put it out on the internet is going to be your Google business profile. Everybody loves to talk about SEO, but in today's day and age, especially if you're on the smaller scale of business, so I mean smaller scale, under $1 billion of revenue, you're not going to win the SEO game. You might win for some super long tail keyword, meaning financial services guide on retiring at 65 as a employee. That's a very long search on Google. So not going to have a ton of sites that are optimized for that. But your business is attempting to win the classic SEO game. It's some tough sledding, but where you can win is going to be your local SEO, meaning financial advisor near me, financial planner near me. That's your chance to take advantage of all the traffic in your area and dominate. So the way that we do that is, first, we need to create a Google business profile. And then there's two things that we need to do with that profile. We need to make sure that we are consistently getting positive reviews, responding to those reviews so that we look like open business. Think about it. If you were Google and you were to serve up content to your users, you want to make sure it's good content. Oh, wrong button there. Sorry about that. You want to make sure it's good content. So as you get reviews, you're giving that positive signal back to Google saying, hey, we are a great business and people are happy with us. So when people in our area are searching for us, serve us up. So get reviews, get them consistently, respond to the reviews, whether they're good or bad. When they're bad, you get an opportunity to respond as a normal human being and show yourself out to the public. The bad reviews can work in your favor, but dominate reviews and then update your profile. I have social media listed on this thing, but you see Google's by itself, Google Business Profile, because I believe all your content should be posted out to your profile, optimized for your Google Business Profile to keep consistently giving Google those indicators that we are open business, we're an active business, we're a helpful business. So all of your content that you create from that long form video should definitely go into Google as an update. There's a lot that goes into local SEO, but that very much needs to be part of your funnel. And then the third place that we're putting content, your website. We need to think about how people search for you online. If they did search your business name, a few things are going to come up. Content that you've done on YouTube, because YouTube is going to rank higher than you for the most part because of the authority that Google has behind it. People are likely to go to your Google business profile because it's a third party where they can learn about your business. And then once they've learned enough, they're going to naturally come to your website. So we want to have our website set up in a way where our messaging is clear. It's very obvious what our solutions are that we're providing out to people. There's clear conversion events so that people can take that next step. But it's important to take that long form content in the form of videos, audio, and word and put it out on our blog. Taking that same exact content, repurposing it in an interesting way so that we just capture our eyeballs. You're going to see the main theme here is taking that content and putting it in as many areas as possible, optimized for those areas. Much like if we were to play blackjack, it's probably not a great idea to take it all and put it just on black. We're going to spread our chips around. So having an updated website that shows authority both to the user and to Google from consistent updates. So those are the main places that we're going to attract people in to seeing what we're doing. After we attract, we need to nurture these people. Well, how do we do that? So pretty simple. We need to create some kind of outbound communications. You should have a newsletter. Newsletters might not be the most interesting thing, but a well-done newsletter is going to let your users or your potential leads know what's going on in your business, what potential deals or opportunities exist, what offerings are now available. Just taking a simple aggregate newsletter, taking the things that we've published out that month, putting them in one consolidated piece of communication, taking a few minutes to write a custom intro every month so that it sounds like you, it resonates like you and your personality, and send that out. Email is king. Nobody likes to talk about email because it's old and boring, but email is the only place online that you 100% control the messaging and the delivery of your messaging. No other platform provides that exclusive means of communication with your clients like email. From there, a lot of my clients love dominating LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the number one platform for professionals. So you can run an automation. This is something that you can do to act as its own funnel. You can create an audience and deliver content to that audience all through smart LinkedIn automations. So there's tons of tools out there for LinkedIn automations, but I would caution you, be very careful with these tools. Don't be spammy. Whatever limits that they provide in order for you to go out and send these connections, do half of whatever. If they say they do 30, only do 15 a day. I would say even on that, use the tool to help find the targets, send the messaging to the targets. But once you've got somebody that connects with you, your very first message in that sequence, I would advise you to create a custom message at that phase. So I've got my automated connections. They connected with Graham. Before I kick off my automation sequence of any messaging I might have to them, I'm going to send them a unique, authentic message. Record a video in Loom so that, one, they can see me, understand who I am a lot better than just the written word. Two, it sticks out. Not a ton of people are doing that. Three, because it's on Loom, I have the metrics letting me know that they've clicked into my video. So cool, active. And then four, everyone else has automations out there. By me taking the time to record something authentically for them, I just stick out from the crowd instantly. And then the reason that this is in the nurturing phase is once we've created that connection, we want smart messaging lined up that we can provide value out to the person, let them know what we're about. And then over time, drip on them through the social media network. They're connected to us now. So they're going to see our content as we put it on our feed. And that's a perfect segue to social media. So I'm not the biggest fan on taking content and concentrating on a certain channel on social and think that we're going to get a lot of traction. But it's very easy to take whatever content that we're doing, put it out on social. We obviously want thought put behind that. You don't want just corporate jargon put out there from a corporate profile that is very out of touch with, the humanistic portion of the social media. But if you're creating content, it is way too easy to set up a tool that's going to disseminate that content across these channels. That way, people can come in contact with you. They can see and interact with you over time. They can become aware of what you're doing. Again, there's just no point of not putting our content out there. And so, lastly, we need to delight these people. You have to have some kind of thing for these people to interact with. If you're a professional services firm, a webinar just makes way too much sense. You have knowledge. You've got the ability to get in front of people and speak on something where you are an expert. And webinars are a great way to do that. If you're following this complete funnel and you've built top to bottom, people are going to want to get on a call with you and learn more because you've already gained a ton of trust and authority with these people by dripping the great content on them from your long form videos that were the very start of this. So I said there were a few things in this funnel that you personally should be responsible for. You should be responsible for recording those long form videos and presenting these webinars. But after you present a webinar, you might have 2 attendees. You might have 30 attendees. I don't think it really matters how many people attend the event in real time. If you're setting your stuff up correctly, you're recording these webinars. There's tons of platforms out there nowadays where you can present the webinar in either a recorded fashion, or you can even make it look like it's a live upcoming event. So regardless of how you serve up this webinar recording, I think it is critical that after each event, you take the webinar recording, send it out to anyone that registered, definitely anyone that attended, but anyone that registered, regardless if they attended or not, and then create it on your website as an on-demand experience. Use it as a call to action in all of the stuff that you're doing. It shouldn't be your only call to action, but it's a great thing to be able to say, hey, you just watched this 2-minute long video on social media. Well, I, Graham Gardner, have a webinar I've put together on the best ways to leverage social media automation through your content and directly publish to social. So check out this webinar, click here below, blah, blah, blah. The webinars are a fantastic place. And then going back to your local traffic, live workshops. If you've correctly optimized your Google profile, you are going to see an uptick in your local presence. And then being able to present in a live workshop in front of people. Let's get out from behind the computer where we can and actually touch skin and shake people's hands. And you will see the fruits of those labors. And not only will you see those fruits in real time of people scheduling to learn more from you, but now you have a very hot list of prospects that you can use in your retargeting, in your email marketing, in everything, because these people took the time to come and attend one of your events. And like I said, all of this stuff, every phase is pointing for the opportunity for someone to schedule a discovery meeting with me. Everything here is very, there's symbiosis between every phase. Again, I don't expect somebody to linearly go through this funnel and then schedule a call with me. That might happen. That's the ideal case. But for the most part, people are going to bounce between these phases. They discover who Graham is. They've got Graham on their social media feed, and he's nurturing them over time. Perhaps they eventually schedule to come into one of my webinars, but they don't convert. They kind of forget who Graham is. The algorithm stops showing them. They almost rediscover Graham when it comes to the nurture. He pops back up in their algorithm because people have been interacting with content. And eventually, as people pop between these phases, they get the opportunity to schedule with me. They get the opportunity all times, but they take that action. But how do we make sure that happens at all times? We have to have proper reporting set up. We can always go off of our gut. It's great to start a campaign with your gut instinct, but your gut instinct is going to be wrong more than it's right, simply because not everybody consumes the internet the way that you do. And we think that everybody goes out there and is active in our content or paying attention to the way that we do, but that's not the case. A great example is my clients constantly want to send out these very pretty, verbose emails. But if you look at metrics specific to the financial services industry, but really across any industry, ugly short emails convert better than the pretty one. Very specific example, but our gut instinct is not always the correct instinct. So that is a complete funnel here. The only thing that I did not include would be you launching your own school.com community that you aggregate all this content in and you can push people to join and interact with. But that's going to be in a different video. So I would love to know if you have any questions about these different steps. I've never seen any kind of content like this out on the internet. So I'd be very interested to see a few years from now how many views this video has. And if you learned anything in this video, please comment, let me know. I'm loving doing these videos, but any feedback on how it can better provide value and answer your questions, I'd love to do that. As always, we review the live stats from the exchange, our school.com community. So let's do that real fast. All right, so here I am. We're in the exchange. You can see we have 577 members. Ranking as the number 1,410 community. We are ranked as the number one finance community on school.com. So if you'd love to jump into the conversation on the exchange, there should be a link in the show notes to this video on how you can jump in. But otherwise, subscribe to this video. Let me know what other kind of marketing tips I can drop on you. I look forward to talking to you next week. Graham out. Peace.